Good morning to everyone. Myself Jyoti, a lecturer in Chemical Engineering Department of SJ Government Polytechnic, Bengaluru. So we are following the Unit 1, all the topics. In continuation with the topics of the Unit 1, today we will be learning the pressure measuring devices of instrumentation and process control subject, which is a fifth semester subject in Diploma in Chemical Engineering. So in the last class we have learnt about the temperature measuring instruments. In the last session we have learnt about the pyrometer, that is also a temperature measuring instrument, which is especially used for measuring the high temperature. So there are two types of pyrometers that we have learnt: the radiation pyrometers and the optical pyrometer. You might remember the optical pyrometer and the radiation pyrometer. So both work on the intensity of radiations emitted by the hot object. So the intensity of radiations emitted by the hot object is then being correlated for temperature measurement. So that is the basic working principle of these pyrometers. So we have also learnt the other temperature measuring instruments, such as the liquid filled thermometers, the mercury thermometers, the bimetallic thermometers, the thermocouples, resistance temperature detectors, the pyrometers. These are various temperature measuring instruments. So in all these sessions we have covered what are process variables, what are the importance of process variables, what is instrumentation, what is an importance of instrumentation, various types of instruments used for the measurements based on their methods of measurement, what is measurement, different types of measurement, and also the different elements of an instruments and the performance characteristics of a instruments. So in this session we are moving on to the pressure measuring instruments. So in this session I am going to cover on the measurement of pressure. So the pressure classification and the instrument C-type burden tube pressure gauge, the principle of C-type burden tube pressure gauge, then the construction and the working of this C-type burden tube pressure gauge, the advantages and disadvantages. So after learning all these topics, we will assess ourselves through MCQs. So MCQs is the multiple choice questions. So coming to the measurement of the pressure, what is pressure, by the way? You all are aware of this term from 8th standard itself. What is pressure, what is force in physics, chemistry, and also in biology also. You all come across this term very well and you are very familiar with this, the term, the pressure. So what is pressure, by the way? The pressure is usually defined, you all know, it is the ratio of the force per unit area. So what do you understand by the term the ratio of the force per unit area? The force per unit area, imagine you have a liquid in a container which has been closed, and the liquid is exerting, the molecules of the liquid is exerting, it is tending to come out of that container. So that means it is exerting the force onto all the four walls of that container, of that area of that container. So we can say that it is nothing but all the forces exhibited by the molecules of the liquid per unit area of that container. So this is the physical interpretation of the what is the pressure is. The pressure is the force per unit area. So the unit of pressure it is being measured in Pascal, Newton per meter square, in a millimeter of Hg, then PSI, pounds per square inch, and also in bar. So all this unit relationship you have already learned in your previous classes, especially in your third semester classes, that is the subject called momentum transfer. So momentum transfer, in the first unit itself, we have learned what is pressure, what is the properties of a fluid, different types of pressure, and also different types of the pressure measuring devices. Different types of pressure measuring devices you have learned, different types of manometers especially. You have learned about the YouTube manometer, you have learned about a differential manometer, inclined tube manometer. Then you've also learned the derivation of the pressure measurement using these the manometers for measuring the pressure difference. So units in the sense, 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 Pascal, and 1 atmosphere is equal to what? 101.325 kilopascal. That also can be read as 101.325 into 10 power of 3 Pascal. So that can also be converted into 101.325 Pascal. So 1 atmosphere is again, it is equal to 760 mmHg. That it will be equal to 10 to the power 5 bar. What is PSI? You're all aware of Pascal, millimeter Hg, Newton per meter square. Then what is PSI? The pressure is also measured in PSI. PSI is nothing but pounds per square inch. So how can we relate the PSI into Newton per meter square? So it is being related that the 1 PSI will be equal to 6,895 Newton per meter square. Please do note down. I am not given these details. All these details what I am telling you is not being given in the study material also, and also in the slideshow. So 1 PSI is what? 6895 Newton per meter square. What is 1 Newton? 1 Newton is equal to what? 1 kg meter per second square. So in SI unit, it can also be taken as 6.89475 Newton Pascal. So then coming to the different types of pressures, you have different types of pressure. The pressure may be measured in terms of gauge pressure, absolute pressure, vacuum pressure, static pressure, and the differential pressure. So what is gauge pressure? A gauge is that indicates zero at atmospheric pressure and measures the difference between the actual pressure and the atmospheric pressure is called the gauge pressure. So it actually measures the difference between the actual pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So absolute pressure is nothing but the total pressure acting on a particular surface. The vacuum pressure is the pressure below the atmospheric. Atmosphere is called the vacuum pressure, or the it is also called as subatmospheric pressure. Static pressure, when the fluid is in equilibrium with the pressure at a particular point and is identical in all the directions, then it is called the static pressure. The differential pressure, as the name only indicates, it is the difference between the 2 points, that is the upstream and the downstream section, is called the differential pressure. So these are the very basic important things you have to have a thorough knowledge. Whenever whoever asks it, these are the basic questions you have to know. You are already in a 5th semester, and wherever you go for an interview, so only the basic questions are being asked. They don't even ask the complicated questions. So the basic terms, whether it is a pressure, temperature, the force, or the same basic the variables are being involved in any process control or in any process instrumentation. So what is the effect of these basic terminologies and what exactly the meaning of these terminologies? You should have a thorough knowledge in order to attend a interview. Because why I am telling this you is you are already in a 5th semester, so you have to go have a thorough knowledge of all these the basic terminologies. So the classification, the pressures, the instruments are being classified also. Similarly to the classification of the temperature measuring instruments, the pressure measuring instruments also being classified based on their materials of construction or based on their methods or based on their the type of pressure measurement. They have been classified. So based on the liquid column element, they have been classified as barometer and the manometer. So I have told already, I think you have already learnt about the manometers, which has been taught in your 3rd semester subject, that is the momentum transfer. So the based on the elastic pressure element, that is a transducer. Transducer is nothing but it converts one form of element to another form of element. So based on the elastic pressure element, it is being classified as Bourdon tube, the bellows, the diaphragm pressure gauge and the capsule pressure gauge. Bourdon tube pressure gauge, bellows pressure gauge, diaphragm pressure gauge and the capsule pressure gauge. So based on the electrical transducers, it is also being classified as resistance type electrical transducers, inductance type electrical transducers, and based on the force balance devices, it is a deadweight gauge and the ring gauge and the bell gauge. And based for pressure measurement by measuring vacuum, in your syllabus you are learning the Pirani gauge and the McLeod gauge and the capsule gauge. So these are the various gauges you are learning in your the present unit. So coming to one by one construction details, working and the principle. First we will learn about the Bourdon tube pressure gauge. What type of this, which category it belongs to? Bourdon tube. Bourdon tube belongs to the category of elastic pressure element. And it can, the Bourdon tube can measure the pressure up to 60 bar. And from 0 to 15 psi, pounds per, if you speak in terms of pounds per square inch, it can measure from 0 to 15 psi and from 15 psi to 1 lakh psi, pounds per square inch. That you have to convert in terms of Newton per meter square and the pascals. So it is very simple in construction and also is very tough in construction. It covers the pressure range from 0 to 15 psi up to 10 lakh psi. So this is how the Bourdon tube pressure gauge looks like. So what is the principle of working of the Bourdon tube pressure gauge? So it has got some the C-type cross section. The pressure enters at the one end, free end of the tube, sorry, at the fixed end of the Bourdon tube. This pressure causes the tube to change its shape from from oval to circular, and again this tends to straighten out the tube. So the resulting movement of the free end of the tube causes the pointer to move to measure the pressure scale. So this is the basic principle of working of Bourdon tube pressure gauge. So when the fluid enters and the pressure enters the Bourdon tube, it tries to change the cross section of the tube from oval to circular, and this tends to straighten out the tube. Then the resulting movement of the free end of the tube causes the pointer to move to measure the pressure scale. So when you this principle will be clearly understood when we clearly understand the construction, the working part. Then after understanding the construction, the working part, again you have to go back to understand the principle. First you have to see what is principle, then you have to understand in detail the construction and the working part of it. Then you'll become very thorough with the principle of working of any type of measuring gauge. So coming to the construction part, as you know already from the principle, it consists of a long thin walled cylinder of non-circular cross section sealed at one end. We'll understand by looking at the figure. So this is a long thin non-circular cross section or the C-shaped burden tube cross section. So the one end is being pivoted, the other end is where the measuring liquid enters, measuring quantity enters. So then it is attached by the light line work to the mechanism which operates the pointer. The other end of the tube is fixed, open for the application of the pressure which is to be measured. See, you can see the socket where it is open for the pressure to be applied, whose pressure has to be measured. Then it is a thin non-circular tube pivoted at the tip with an adjustable link and consists of the segmental lever which is being pivoted with a sector with a pin ion arrangement which moves onto the scale to indicate the pressure. Please understand carefully by looking at the figure what exactly the construction part is. See, this is socket. This is a thin tube which is non-circular. Then the adjustable link with the segment lever and pin ion arrangement with the pointer moves on to the calibrated scale which is calibrated in terms of the pressure. The tip, adjustable link, segmental lever which is being pivoted with a sector, pin ion spring arrangement with the pointer which moves on to the scale of the burden tube. This is the construction part is concerned. Please look into the diagram and understand. So for understanding you have to practice the diagram. So diagram also carries some marks which will be asked in the exams. The working part, the measurement fluid under pressure will enter the burden tube. Then the pressure force will change the section of the tube from oval to circular. The resulting movement of the free end of the tube causes the pointer to move over the scale. The working is what? The measurement fluid which under pressure enters at this end. So after entering, the pressure of that particular measuring fluid causes the movement of the burden tube from non-circular tube to the other shape. It tries to become circular and tighten itself and become circular, which causes the movement of the pointer. The pointer in turn moves on to the calibrated scale of this the burden tube which indicates the pressure of the measuring fluid. So what are the advantages of using this burden tube pressure gauge? Simple in construction, high accuracy, available at low cost and available in wide variety of ranges. So looking at the figure only you can see it is simple in construction. The accuracy is also very high. It is one of the advantages of using the burden tube pressure gauge, and it is available at low cost and wide variety of ranges. Susceptibility to shock and vibration. So may cause to hysteresis or lost motion. These are the disadvantages of using the burden pressure gauge. So till now what we have understood, what is pressure? So what are the units of the pressure, different units of the pressure, different types of the pressure, whether gauge pressure, absolute pressure or the static pressure, vacuum pressure. Then the different types, classification of the instrument for measuring the pressure, based on whether it is the element which it utilizes, based on its construction, based on its operation. Then we have learnt the elastic measuring element, as an example of C-type burden tube pressure measuring gauge. So after understanding all these topics, let us solve some of the multiple choice questions. So the first question is, the force acting normally per unit area on the surface of the body is known as what? I think you have already guessed the answer. You already know the answer. As I told, the pressure terminologies you will be learning from the 8th standard itself. Answer is A, the pressure. In SI unit, the unit of pressure is what? The pascals, pounds, omega or Newton. No, it is Pascal. One Newton per meter square is what? Is equal to 1 Newton per meter square is what? Is equal to 1 Pascal, 1 kg, 1 Newton, 1 joule. Think. You have learned CPC, you have learned MMT, you have solved many problems from the second semester, from last 1 year. So you should be able to answer. So the units also remembering the basic concepts, all this you should remember. One Pascal, 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 Pascal. The difference between the actual and the atmospheric pressure is called what? I have explained to you in the different types of pressure with the definitions and what exactly it is. Can you guess the answer? It is the gauge pressure. Move on to the next question. The C-type burden tube pressure gauge is liquid column element, elastic pressure element, the electrical transducers, or the force balanced devices. So the classification, this type of question can also be understood, can be asked because so the classification of the instruments also is very important. Answer is electrical transducers. The burden pressure gauge can measure pressure up to 0 to 10,000 or 10 lakh psi. 0 to 100, 0 to 1000, 0 to 1 lakh. 1000, 0 to the last answer. 1 psi is what? 6895 Newton per meter square. Newton meter, sorry. 6000 Newton meter, 5700 Newton per meter, 5000 Newton per meter. What could be the correct answer? I've explained you, I've told you to note down while explaining. So it is 6895 Newton per meter. Answer is A. The burden tube is used for the measurement of gauge pressure of what? Gas, liquid fluid, solid, both A and B. Can you think the answer for this? Can you able to answer for this question? I think you should. Basic question this is. Are you getting the answer? It is capable of measuring the gauge pressure of both liquid fluid and the solid. Sorry, both the gas and the liquid fluid. So I hope you have all understood by this session. And for the better understanding of the construction and the working, you should have the practice of the diagram especially. Once you understand the construction part, the working part will come out automatically. So for further better understanding, the study material of this session is also available. Please do go through that study material. And the references has also been given here, the process control and instrumentation. This is very important for this subject. I have been referring these two books, which is very good for the reference, and you can easily understand by these two books. So the AP Kulkarni is very good, which gives you a thorough knowledge of the process control also and the instrumentation also, which is opt for your syllabus. This book is very much opt for your syllabus. Process control and instrumentation by R.P. Vyas also is a good book. I hope you have all benefited by this session. The study material for this session is also available. Please do go through the study material for better understanding, and also please do refer the books and keep reading the books. That will help you to enhance the knowledge. Don't stick on only to the notes and the material which is being available. Thank you.